he blames this second new civil war in heaven on himself. Because he rebelled in season 5, rebelled against Zachariah and Michael, against the other angels to help Sam and Dean, he started a movement that he did not know would happen. He told Sam and Dean, I was shameful. That's why I didn't come down. I expected more of my brothers. And I really, truly believe that. And when he was telling Sam and Dean this, it's like for just a second, just a split second, and he said, I'm sorry. It's like our cast that we got to know so well in season 5 was back. And then he stole Dean's hand, sliced it without asking him. And then all of a sudden, the new, more improved Castiel was back. And our friend that we got to know was gone again, buried. So, I've always thought that Cass was a lot more human than he admitted to himself. And angels feel those human emotions more than they'd like to admit. And Castiel is really dealing with that guilt like he never has before. He's dealt with doubt and with betrayal, but I think this is really the first time that he's truly felt the weight of the guilt on his shoulders. And it's making him stronger, I think. It really has. As an angel and the purpose that he believes he holds as a servant of God, it's made him stronger and a more confident leader even. And he is going to be a fantastic lesson in heaven eventually, I think. The fact that Cass was willing to basically torture that kid, it surprised me, and I'm just watching this. I'm just like watching it with horror. Like, Cass, what are you doing? But as the episode went on and we got that conversation that he had with Balthazar, and you realize he's carrying all this guilt, I understood. And what he said to Dean at that point, I wrote it down word for word. And Dean's like, you can't do this. And then Cass looks at him, he's like, I can't care about that, Dean. I don't have luxury. And I really, he was really honest. And he doesn't have the luxury. I think he definitely does care. That's for sure. He lied that he doesn't care. And there's a big difference between I can't care and I don't care. It's not that he can't. It's just he's taken this weight upon himself, his duty upon himself, to solve this war that's going on in heaven. And the only way to do that, as he said, is to get all the weapons of heaven back. And he blames them being stolen. He blames this whole war on himself alone. And, it's very typical. I think Cass has always been a very self-sacrificing character. As annoying as he can be because of that. But it makes him a lot more pure, I think. And it does weaken him slightly. But it does make him more pure. And you always can trust him, I think. I don't think there's ever been a moment where I've doubted that Sam and Dean can truly trust Castiel. Even in, oh my gosh, what was the last, the season 4 finale that just went, what's it called? You guys know what episode I'm talking about. Even in the season 4 finale, when he basically kidnaps Dean, and Dean has to do all this, convincing to make him help him. Even then, I knew Cass would do the right thing. He wanted to. It's just he was afraid of the orders he'd be given. He did not want to become a rebel angel. A couple little things that I'll, really think are going to come into play later on. First, I didn't catch it until I watched it the second time. Castiel shows up in their hotel room, when before he needed to call them and have them say where they are. So wait, even with the brands that he put in their skeleton, in their bones, he can find them now? Is that part of his new and improved powers? And like maybe he's the only one that can find them? I don't know. I hope that wasn't like a mistake that, I know I'm probably not the only one that caught it. But I hope that wasn't a mistake and it was actually done on purpose, and we'll get to know why. One of the other things, when they first said the name Balthazar, I was like, oh, yes, this is genius. Because for those of you that are familiar with John Milton's Paradise Lost, which is fabulous, if you haven't read it, and you're a reader, read it. It's the story of, Lucifer / Satan and his fall from heaven. And Balthazar was one of his, like, right-hand guys. He was one of the fallen angels that sided with Lucifer and fell with him. So I'm just like, is this the guy that maybe pulled Sam out of the cage? Is he the one doing Lucifer's bidding all this time? And I have a very, very sick feeling because I really think that he may be one of the suspects. And it makes me sad because you can really tell that him and Castiel were great friends. And if Balthazar does end up being the guy that, is pushing all the strings when it comes to bringing Lucifer back from the cage, I truly still believe that Sam is possessed by Lucifer, that, Castiel is going to feel more guilt, feel the betrayal all over again, and he's just maybe become drunk again, I don't know, but it's going to make him just feel so much bad, a lot more worse than what he already feels and the guilt he already feels. So, I just have a sick feeling that that's going to happen. And one other thing that I didn't really pay attention to until the second time I watched it was the whole idea of what Balthazar says about the worth of souls. And, he tells Dean, do you have any idea how much a soul is worth? How much power a soul has? And, the show has kind of dealt with souls here and there over the series, but I don't think we've ever really been confronted with that question and how powerful and how valuable souls can be. And I really do think that is going to be something huge in this season. That was not pushed into the forefront of this episode for no reason. That is going to be something we're going to be dealing with, especially because with everything revolving around Sam. And is that true? Is Sam still truly in there somewhere, or has Lucifer really gotten rid of the purity that was compassion, love, everything that was really who Sam was, his soul, basically. And so I'm really excited to find out more about that. And I know they wouldn't have introduced the weapons of heaven without a reason. This season is going to be about the war in heaven, the stolen weapons, Balthazar, and this whole soul business. So I'm really, really looking forward to this season. It's going to be great. I've seen the preview clips and the sneak peeks of next week's episode, Weekend at Bobby's. I'm really excited to see it. If I'm right, this was the one that Jensen directed, I believe. I should have probably looked that up before I said it on here. But I really think this is the one Jensen directed. You know what? Time out. I'm going to go look it up really fast. Okay, I was right. This is the one Jensen directed, so everyone pay closer attention. I'm really excited to see his directorial debut. I know he's been interested in it for a long time, ever since they started season 1. And so I'm really, really excited. And one of the things that seems to be going on in this sneak peek that we got to see was Bobby, Crawley comes back. I love Mark Sheppard. And, Crowley doesn't want to give Bobby his soul back, so he asks help for Sam and Dean, and it's going to be good. And we continue on in this whole reason, and Bobby's talking about what's up with monsters lately. There's these rare monsters are popping up all over the place in places they're not supposed to be. They're out in sunlight, so on and so on. So we're going to continue that storyline that started in the season premiere, and I'm really excited. So tune in for the episode next Friday and for my vlog next weekend. Bye, guys!